Folks, got a little update for you. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley here. We're tracking what could be a bit of a winter situation for us over the next 2 days. This is not a 5-alarm fire or anything, but it is something that will have some impact on you as you try and move about the Piedmont over the next couple of afternoons and the next couple of mornings. We're calling it a News 2 Weather Impact Alert Day. Why do we do that? The whole idea behind this is just to get you ready for any kind of weather that might be inconvenient or in some cases dangerous. These next couple of days fall much more into the inconvenient category, but you know, when it comes to ice and winter weather, you never can be a little bit too careful, especially in our part of the country. So for tomorrow morning all the way through Wednesday, we're looking at the potential each morning to have some icy mix at times. Now for the afternoons, it's likely going to be warm enough for it just to be a cold rain. So we're going to have a mixed bag throughout the next couple of days. What you need to do, make sure to kind of take it slow, be cautious when you're driving out and about the area, especially if it's dark outside. Bridges and overpasses could be some trouble spots, a little bit slick at times, and also just simply when you're stepping outside, you're going to want to be a little extra careful. There could be some icy patches that develop on maybe your sidewalk, the railings, the back deck, those type of places. You can't always see that, and we do get a lot of slip and falls in this kind of weather. Right now, this is the 10 o'clock update here, so we're looking at 10 o'clock temperatures as of now. Mid to upper 30s across the Triad area, but you'll notice a lot of spots already dropping down to right around freezing, and that's what set the stage or will set the stage for possible winter weather to start the morning on our Tuesday. This cold air is driving in from Canada up into the Northeast, New England, Mid-Atlantic, and down here into North Carolina as well. You'll notice it's a little bit warmer off to the west of us, so as our weather system is kind of tracking across the Mid-South from Arkansas to Tennessee, it's not really so much of a winter weather event. It's basically just cold rain, but it is the same storm that's coming our way. And as we look at this, I call this the water vapor loop, but you might always call it an X-ray of the atmosphere, so to speak. What it allows us to do is kind of see how the air is moving about the country. And right now we're noticing the jet stream really carrying a lot of moisture. It's actually coming from the Pacific Ocean, moving across Texas, and then materializing here in the south. So that's where our system is coming from. You can see what it's already been doing. Here in Arkansas, they have been reporting some wintry weather. The pinkish shade is freezing rain. That's the stuff that kind of coats everything in a sheet of ice. The darker purple there, that's sleet. Those are those pellets that kind of ping off your windshield or your windows. And the lighter blues and whites, that's snowfall. Now the green, of course, is rain, and that's primarily what they're seeing in Tennessee so far this evening. And that's primarily what we'll see too. But there will be some mixing, just like they're seeing over in Knoxville, toward our area as we get into the early morning hours. We are expecting this. We have a winter weather advisory for all the counties in purple. What is a winter weather advisory? It's basically a lower end winter weather warning. It's not going to be a significant enough event to call it a winter storm, so we don't have a winter storm warning. Virginia does. They have that darker shade of pink. They are expecting more snow, more ice, all of those things. Here locally, a little bit more minor, but still enough that a coating or a glaze of ice could be possible, especially as you get toward the Virginia border. And so we want to alert you about it. High pressure is sending in that cold air. If it weren't there, we wouldn't be talking about any icy potential, but we are thinking that will be the case early tomorrow morning. Some mixing around the Virginia border and our Triad area, whereas Virginia is getting ready for a bit of a snowstorm, especially middle of the state up to Virginia and the Delmarva Peninsula. Back here locally, as I said, some of that cold air gets stuck on our part of the mountains. That pinkish shade, that's the icy mix that we're talking about at times on Tuesday. Off to the west, it's a little bit too warm in Tennessee and Kentucky. They'll just see a bit of a cold rain with this. But for our area, we'll have a couple of chances for this icy potential. The first is Tuesday morning. The next would be overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. As the day wears on Wednesday, we'll get warm enough that we shouldn't have to worry anymore about winter weather for our area, and instead we should be able to just be looking at cold rain for the rest of this thing, which, by the way, lasts all the way into Thursday. We're going to be at this for a couple of days. It's a very wet weather system for our area. That's a closer view on one of our computer models. It's called the rapid refresh model because it goes every hour. Notice this is 8 o'clock Tuesday morning. Lots of snow is what it's projecting for Virginia. You'll notice it has some slightly drier air here in the Piedmont. If that's to be believed, we're not going to have that bad of a morning, but if that fills in, we're likely to have some sleet going on, maybe some wet snowflakes to start the day. Between about 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. is that best chance for us to have a bit of a wintry mix. As the day wears on, notice the greens taking over much of the Triad here. That would be cold rain just kind of filling in the gaps. But that pinkish shade, that's freezing rain, okay? North Carolina mountains, foothills, right along the border, Southside Virginia. Freezing rain is not to be messed with, and that's likely what's going to be happening a good chunk of this event for those areas. It might continue into Tuesday night, as we said, whereas cold rain still dominates around Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Burlington. However, if we cool down just enough, that freezing rain could continue to drift south a little bit into Wednesday morning, and so we'll all want to be careful out and about to look for any icy spots. Now for Wednesday itself, we'll continue to see more of that cold rain, as we said, going into Wednesday night. This is a closer view on our computer model that we run in-house here. It also has that dry spell early tomorrow morning, but still some scattered sleet, some scattered wet snow to start the day. As the day goes on, as we said, cold rain taking over for most of us here in the Piedmont. Notice how cold we are, though. Throughout the morning, we're 33, 34 degrees. Still in the afternoon, we're at that temperature as well. Better chance of freezing rain off to the north, but you see nighttime temperatures are going to be very, very close, enough so that we could get some ice buildup in the trees, maybe a little bit on the power lines, on the cars. Those type of things are possible, especially when it's dark outside. Throughout Wednesday, temperatures will slowly start to warm up into the mid and upper 30s there, and that cold rain is really just taking over at that point. So bottom line, who sees what? What do you need to worry about? It all depends on where you live. So where are we expecting these different types of precipitation? Areas in green: Lexington, Asheboro, Siler City, Raleigh, Durham, Salisbury, all the way down to Charlotte. It's all rain. It's all just cold rain down in those neighborhoods. Now, for the Triad, meaning pretty much the I-40 corridor here, I have you in the pink shade. What does that mean? Well, mostly rain most of the time, but there will be some icy mix as well. And so that could put a little bit of icy accumulation, like we said, on walkways, on bridges and overpasses, those types of things, enough that you'll want to use caution about our area for the next 2 days, Tuesday into Wednesday. Farther north, that darker shade of pink, that's the area I'm most concerned about for us, because you'll have more of that freezing rain lasting a little bit longer, and that's what could amount to higher ice totals. A little bit of a closer view. This is our freezing rain accumulation map. I have a glaze to 1/10 of an inch or so across most of the Triad. That's usually pretty manageable in terms of avoiding power outages and downed trees and things like that. Farther off to the north could be a different story. Wilkes County, Surrey, Stokes, Rockingham, all the way through Virginia. 1/10 of an inch or more is pretty possible too, and even higher than that for the North Carolina mountains. Those are the areas you'll want to be on guard and probably charge up your phones and batteries and things like that just to be on the safe side in case there were to be any power outages. Let's break this down very simply. Bottom line, a wintry mix is possible at times, Tuesday and Wednesday mornings especially. That means some bridges and overpasses could be slick, so could walkways. Make sure to be extra careful when walking outside or going outside. Cold rain, that's miserable enough on its own. We're going to have plenty of that. Rain totals, 2 to 3 inches across our area, 4 inches or so for the mountains, a little bit less as you go south and east. The mountains actually could see some flooding problems with this particular system. Probably the most rain they have seen since Hurricane Helene, which of course we will all never forget. The drought, we haven't talked about it that much. You don't think about drought in the winter time, but we've had one. We're still in one right now, and this will be helpful to kind of knock back that drought status a little bit. You know, we're not done with the rain after this system really winds down on Thursday. That's when our rain will stop, is Thursday morning. We're going to get more of it by the upcoming weekend. This looks to be Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. More rain moving into our area. The final bout of this would be Sunday in the morning. We have a pretty strong cold front coming in, bringing us more rain, possibly some thunder as well. So we have a lot going on over the course of this week here in the Triad. Your timeline one more time for this winter weather system. Tuesday morning, then overnight into Wednesday morning. Those look like the 2 time periods that could have the best chance of having some slippery weather across the area. Make sure to be cautious if you have to be out and about. I know we've had some school adjustments, but I'm sure you're still going to be out and about the area every now and again. Looking at the 7-day forecast, our News 2 weather impact alert days for Tuesday and for Wednesday. Just explain to you why they're there. Looking at Thursday, morning rain. Yeah, that's for sure, but it's ending by about 10 o'clock in the morning. That leaves us with a pretty sunny and decent afternoon with high temperatures in the 60s. Valentine's Day, that looks good too. We'll be in the 40s there. Looking ahead to the weekend, pretty good chance of some rain on Saturday and again on Sunday with some rain and thunderstorms for the morning hours.